we'll just make sure that they get all the information. But I'm going to go ahead and start sharing the PowerPoint with you all really quickly and jump right into exactly, what is virtual trivia and how all of your companies can individually get involved. So essentially, as you all know or have heard a little bit about it, virtual trivia is kind of what we're using now to replace the bowl-a-thon. Obviously, in-person events is not something that we're looking at right now. And we found that this is kind of the next best approach to kind of engage with our corporate partners and have them engage with employees. It's still interactive and fun. So, it's kind of a way for you to get involved with JA during all of this odd timing virtual world. I'm sure many of you are very familiar with JA and what we do, but our mission is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. So right now we are in the process of doing a lot of digital programming, and our volunteers are still continuing to deliver those financial literacy, work readiness, and entrepreneurship programs to students K through 12. But it looks a little different at this time. So I'm going to let Maddie touch on exactly what our digital programming looks like and give you kind of a summary of how we responded to the pandemic and shifted our online resources for students.
Sure. Thanks, Flannery. And thank you, everybody, for hopping on and joining us today. I think I know most everybody on the call, but for those of you that don't know me, I am Maddie Schaefer. I'm JA's Associate Director of Events and Communications. So working with Flannery on the virtual trivia events, but kind of more from afar, while Flannery is working individually with you all to plan your individual company events. So like Flannery mentioned, we are full blown in running our digital programming. This is something that we pivoted to pretty early on in the spring after it was very clear that schools were not going to be back in the classroom for a while, at least. And when they started to return, that outside volunteers were not going to be able to go into that classroom anytime soon. So in response to the pandemic, we have created several online digital resources for students and families. We did have a few virtual blended learning opportunities prior to last March, but we've really vamped up those efforts and are running 100% digital programming model as of right now. As some of you may have already volunteered in classrooms, we are engaging corporate partners to participate in these volunteer opportunities and have been working with schools and community partners to deliver the virtual programming resources to them, whether that's in the classroom for the schools that have gone back or still virtually to students in their homes. Many of our schools have a high population of at-risk students, so being displaced from that traditional learning environment disrupts the stability that their school environment provides. So one thing that we're really focusing on this year is reaching those students who need JA the most, especially the ones that are being affected most by the change from traditional learning to digital learning. So as always, every dollar raised through your fundraising events will support JA programs. This year specifically through the virtual trivia fundraisers will support these new digital programming and bringing those to students throughout the Chicago and surrounding suburb areas in our efforts on moving from traditional in-class learning to digital programming.
Thanks, Maddie. So like she said, all of the funds raised from the virtual trivia will have an immediate impact on providing those funds to help develop out our digital and online resources. I believe someone else just jumped on, so hello to whoever that was. I cannot see at the moment, but thank you for joining us. You have not missed anything yet. We're just now jumping into what is the virtual trivia. So like I said, it is a chance for everyone to digitally connect and compete with your coworkers, maybe your vendors, carrier partners, anything like that, as well as raise funds to support Junior Achievement of Chicago's digital programming. How does it work? It is just like the Bowl-a-thon in the aspect of participants can create teams and fundraise through their own personal pages. All of the same aspects of QGIve will be used. On your company's preferred date, the trivia teams will meet on their preferred conferencing platforms and tune into a live trivia broadcast that is hosted by JA, myself, and Maddie. And I am no trivia host whiz, but it is pretty fun. I will admit that it's fun to be a host of that. At the end of each round, the captains will submit teams' answers via an online form system. And then the trivia topics can be customized in any way for your event. Trivia winners also will receive a monetary prize, as well as anybody who fundraises over $250. We're still keeping those fundraising My Style aspects to the event. And what do you need to play? It's just a team of 5 colleagues or friends or family, a tablet, computer, Wi-Fi, and of course your thinking caps. It is trivia after all. So I'm going to kind of dive into each aspect of trivia, and I just want all of you to keep in mind while you are listening and watching this presentation that everything is pretty much customizable. That might work best for your company. We want to do that for you. And there are some aspects of this trivia event that might work for some companies. Some companies might want to do it as an individual game. Just keep in mind we can pretty much cater it to you however fits your company's needs best. So again, by participating in this, you will help us continue to provide those educational programs to students K through 12. There are ways to get involved. If you're looking at doing it as a team playing aspect, you can become a team captain or a participant on those teams, as well as it is possible to do it as an individual game. So the team captains, similar to the Bowl-a-thon, are responsible for recruiting their teammates to fill up their teams. So as a coordinator, we would ask you to recruit, those team captains like you typically would for a Bowl-a-thon, and then encourage the team captains to fill up their teams. We say teams of about 5 to 6 people. Again, that is fully customizable. We would just rather a team of 5 to 6 on average rather than a team of 10 playing a duo. It can include anyone from coworkers, family, friends. I know we're all at home for the most part these days, so if you wanted participants to join with their families or roommates, things like that, there's always fun aspects that can be added to it. And then participants are asked to raise a minimum of $50 in pledges. That is similar to the Bowl-a-thon fundraising minimum. However, given that we are in this, kind of shift in a world, and it's not easy to ask everyone to do the same things that they've done in the past, we can work with each company individually and see what works best for your needs, and in order to have a successful event, what might be best for you, whether that be a different fundraising levels, whether that be some sort of payment in order to participation registration fee, or whether your company is looking at making a flat donation to the event and asking participants to play. But again, any pledges are tax deductible, and all of them do still qualify everyone for those awesome fundraising prizes in the My Style vouchers. So to kind of give you an idea of where the funds are going, our student cost is now $20. As you can imagine, shifting to digital programming, there are some added expenses in there. So our cost per student has increased to $20. So to kind of put into perspective where the funds raised from individuals go, $20 will bring JA programs to 1 student, and of course $100 would bring JA programs to 5 students. You know, we've had teams that love to do competitions amongst themselves within their organization, add their own, you know, incentives for fundraising for their teammates. There's always things like that that are still fun in this digital world. You know, it just kind of looks a little different. So how exactly to get started with the JA Trivia? You would pick a date and time that works best for your company. Again, just like the Bowl-a-thon, we want to do whatever works best for you all. You would set a fundraising goal. You know, we can look at the previous year's fundraising goal and fundraising achievements and kind of see where we think a realistic target is for, you know, a virtual event and go from there. As well, then the teams would register on the QGIve page, just like they would in Bowl-a-thon, and continue to, you know, encourage individuals to register under their teams. And then those individuals would join teams and raise funds for JA programming. So the QGIve page looks exactly the same, just has a little bit different language as far as, you know, virtual trivia event, how JA is moving forward with our digital programming at this time, access to the live trivia stream and answer forms directly on the QGIve page. And then that typical large green button there that says register for this event, that is exactly the same. So the registration for this event is just like it would be for the Bowl-a-thon. So the day of the event, JA will provide a link to the live stream that can also be accessible on QGIve, and teams will come together using their preferred conferencing tool to meet and discuss answers to the questions viewed in the stream. So to kind of put into perspective and give you a little idea of what that looks like, if you're doing a team aspect, you could do it in a variety of different ways. You could set up a team conference call and each individual watch the live stream in their own browser. You could set up a conference phone call and everyone watch the live stream in their own browser. You could set up a team video conference and the team captain or one individual share the live stream into the video conferencing system. Similar to what we're doing right now. You know, we're all meeting right now on Teams and I'm sharing in this content. You could do the same thing with the live stream and they would just have to be sure that they're sharing the audio, allowing the audio. And then, you know, you could do things as simple as a FaceTime. We've had teams do FaceTimes, Hangouts. They've had just a group text message and, you know, everybody's watching the game together on their own tablets or computers. So essentially the possibilities are endless for ways to meet with your team. And like I said, it's totally up to each team individually. So there's a lot of options for people. Did I skip one? Okay. And then to give you kind of an idea of the actual live stream, JA does host the live stream via Microsoft Teams. We have a live system that lets us host the actual event. So you can kind of see in these 2 pictures here what the game looks like. And my tiny little face in the corner is there presenting during the trivia game. So that live stream link is again accessible on your QGIve page and will also be emailed out directly to all of the participants so that they are able to quickly access it. Everyone will tune into that live stream to view the game. Then you can also see here that you can see the questions as well as a timer countdown so that, you know, you've got that competitive aspect of it moving along as you're playing the game. Answer forms. So there's a couple of options for the answer forms. You can either use Google or Microsoft answer forms. We've also, just to be totally upfront with you all, we've also looked into other answering systems such as Kahoot. So the possibility kind of just depends on what works best for the company. I know some companies don't allow access to Google, so we could use something along the lines of Microsoft. Or on a totally different aspect of it, we could look at using something like Kahoot so that you're having those instant responses and instant scorings on the screen for you. So you'll be able to access, if you do an answer form system, you can access all of those on the QGIF page. You can kind of see a screen grab from the QGIF page on where those can be accessed. And we recommend that all of the team captains open up each round before we get the game started, just so that it's quick and easy access. Then the teams will discuss their answers, and the team captain will fill out the answer form and submit the answers at the end of each round. And then again, at the end of each round, JA will provide updates to the leaderboard. And at the conclusion of the game, there will be a winning team, which is always really fun. We're calculating on the back end and there's some suspense to it. And then we announce the winning team, which is great. And all the winners as well will be awarded a $25 MyStyle voucher gift card. Again, those are the same as the fundraising prizes. So if any of you have ever had one before, they're redeemable at like hundreds of stores. It's similar to almost like a Visa gift card. So, you know, there is incentive for winning the game and actually trying your best in that aspect, which is also pretty fun for us. If we did do something along the lines of Kahoot, there might not be as much downtime on the scoring side of things, but we'd be sure to, you know, keep you entertained and engaged during the whole game. So I kind of ran through how we've done the event in the past with CIBC and how we're looking at it with some other companies. But I just want to note that there are some of those features that are fully customizable. So the date and time, of course, just like the Bowl-a-thon, is totally up to each company. The trivia rounds and number of questions can also be changed. Right now, we're looking at a trivia game of 5 rounds of 5 questions each. That is kind of that sweet spot time frame of 1 hour for an event. If we are doing it with answer forms via Google or Microsoft, that gives us, JA, on the back end time to do scoring. As well, it gives us time to show, you know, some past volunteer photos from your company, past Bowl-a-thon photos from your company, just some engaging things in between while scoring is being done. But depending on each company, you might want to have more rounds, you might want to have less rounds, you might want to have more questions. And those rounds are also customizable. So, you know, you've got general trivia, pop culture, sports. CIBC's was around the holidays, so we did a holiday round. We're looking at hosting an event in February, so we're doing a Black History Month round. So we can do anything that you guys are interested in, you know, if it's anything from company, history, things like that. The game itself can also be a team game or an individual game. If you're looking at a team game, those answer forms are kind of the best approach for us. As if you're looking at an individual game, I would say something like Kahoot answering system would be a more efficient, because you have a lot more participants that might be playing on their own, so the scoring could be done a lot quicker. You can also do it as an employee event, so just keeping it within your company. Or if you'd like to open it up, we do have some companies that their events are with their... My Apple Watch just went off, sorry. We do have companies that are doing their event with vendors or carriers and partners. They're inviting outside companies to join their event. Of course, that's allowed for this, you know, however you'd like to do it. And then again, the answering system is also something that is a customizable feature. So I just want you all to kind of keep that in mind when you're thinking about the possibilities of joining JA for this event and what might work best for your company. And of course, we can meet individually with you all to kind of talk that through and see what is the best approach. I know I just did a lot of talking, so I'm going to let Josh Udelhoffen from CIBC give you guys a little bit of an overview of how CIBC hosted their trivia event and kind of what led to their success as far as employee engagement and fundraising as well. So Josh, if you want to talk a little bit about CIBC's event, that'd be great.
Yeah, thank you, Flannery. Appreciate the introduction. As she said, my name is Josh Udelhoffen, and I work at CIBC, and I've been the coordinator for our Bowl-a-thon in this past year trivia event since I think it was fall 2015, so a few years under my belt now. And, me and Flannery probably started having conversations about what to do this year in late August, early September. And that's when they let me know that the virtual trivia was an option, and we were fully on board with that. We're very committed as an organization to junior achievement. We have one employee on the board. We have two that coordinate about 4 to 5 JAs in a day every year. And there's never enough slots. Like, they always get filled up by employees pretty quickly. So, it wasn't, when there was the option to do something, it wasn't really a hesitation. We wanted to continue to support this organization because we believe deeply in their mission and what they'll provide to our city. So for our event, we ended up having 75 participants making up 15 teams, which was down from normal. I would say the prior year, we had probably 110 participants across 22 teams. So a little less, but still it beat our expectation. It's tough this time to, ask people, as Flannery mentioned, for contributions or just time. So many people are working from home with children, and that has its own complexities. But we really were marketing this event as a way to reconnect with colleagues you maybe have lost a bit of touch with because you're not seeing them in the office. And that's why everybody, for us, we all had the video. We had obviously the J live stream and then our own video conferencing, just so that you can have that kind of interpersonal connectivity rather than kind of everybody be a team and maybe text, or, another option was do individually. But we really enjoyed the team component and kind of bringing employees together. So that's why we went down with that route, and it was a huge success, in my opinion. So, I'll add too with the event, if Flannery is ever looking for some side cash, I think she would be incredible at hosting trivia at a bar, considering she did ours one-dimensional. Like, she was talking in her room just to herself and absolutely crushing it. So you're in good hands with Flannery leaving your event. Like, she made it very fun and was able to laugh at herself, which is always a good quality. As Flannery had mentioned, the minimum was $50, and that had been CIBC's minimum always to participate. But when considering challenges on families this year with the pandemic, as well as the event being a virtual trivia rather than in-person bowling, we decided to reduce our amount from 50 to 25, but was pleasantly surprised because obviously some people did the minimum, but more often than not, almost every person still raised at least $50. So that was encouraging to see from our side that employees were still willing, or they see the value in what Junior Achievement does for our community, and everybody still wanted to support the event. As well as CIBC has historically covered the fixed expenses for the bowl-a-thon. We always do ours at Diversey River Bowl, and this event is costless. So instead of covering the fixed expenses, CIBC decided to make a contribution to the total event as well, which helped our fundraising goals too. And then, to market the event, as I said, you do the bowl-a-thon to support Junior Achievement, but it's also very fun to have some pizza, play a few games, or bowl a few sets, are they called, or rounds, I'm not sure. Eat pizza, have some drinks with your coworkers. That's always fun. So when marketing it, that was our whole point with why you want to have the team, so that you can have that interconnectivity with your colleagues and to catch up. Some people I know because we did ours at 5 p.m., so we did a happy hour, some drinks, some teams had like themed cocktails, just try to, find ways to still make the event fun on your own, besides what Flannery and Jay already provides you. And, to market it, this is the way I did it this year, and the way I've done it every year with CIBC is I keep a running list of who were the team captains the year prior, and I always start with them. And I would say I always reach out and get about year over year, at least probably 80% of team captains the prior year are available this year. And, the 20 that are not, half of that 20% still will maybe refer to another teammate. So it's really, we've built a lot of success with the event by kind of having continuity with the team captains, because then they reach out to their teammates years prior. So it's an easy way to market the event. The second way we market it and get the word out is I send a note with all the details to the executives at the bank and ask that they pass it along to their department to gather a little more information, as well as there's an internal, we have, like most companies, our own internal web page, and we always have an announcement put on there, as well as did a mass marketing communication email. So kind of some different touch points, but I would say, close to, as I said, 80% of our participation is individuals who were team captains in the past and have participated in the event in the past. So, it's always a good way to get together and have a few laughs with your coworkers. And it wasn't the same as the bowl-a-thon, but, we still made it great. And I had a lot of fun. I thought the hour time was great. As Flannery's correct, you can make it very customizable. One of the rounds we did was, are you smarter than a JA student? So I learned that I'm smarter than 60% of the students, not 40% though. The questions ramped up a bit. I remember the first you asked, the answer was 3 + 4 = 7. And all of us were like, wait, is this too easy? This has to be a joke. It was that easy. So, we had a lot of fun with the event, and I highly encourage everybody on this call to strongly consider continuing your commitment and support of junior achievement. And at any time, if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to Flannery or Maddie, and they can pass along my contact information. Would be happy at any point to have a call about our program.
Thanks so much, Josh. I would hope you could answer that addition question, working at a bank. But, second graders, that's a pretty difficult question there. We're looking at some serious money questions in there. But thank you, Josh. And I want to kind of just reiterate what Josh was saying. It is kind of an opportunity for everybody to, still connect with their colleagues during this time. I know that's something that people are really wishing and looking forward to, those connection events with your colleagues. So it is a fun way. It's a little different, and it isn't like the bowl-a-thon, but looking at bowling alleys now, I can't believe we ever went there. But we're really excited about the virtual trivia, and we want to make it fun for you and your companies, however that is best for you. Like I said, it's pretty much we can make it however you would like it to go. We've had a lot of feedback from other companies that are starting to set their event dates, and they've had a lot of trivia events, so they have some advice on, where to get questions and all of that kind of stuff. So we're very receptive to making it what you would like. But that is everything for the virtual trivia, and I just kind of want to open it up to see if anybody has any questions at this time, that either myself or Josh can answer from JA's side, or a past virtual trivia event participant side. Maddie, do we have any questions in the chat at all?
No, it doesn't look like anybody has any questions.
Okay, perfect. I mean, perfect in that I hope that was a good job explaining it to you all.
Flannery, we had somebody typing, so there could be a question coming up.
Perfect. We will go ahead and wait and see if that question can get.
Yeah, Susan, to answer your question, we'll share the slideshow, and we're also recording the video if there's anybody that wants to view this meeting as well.
And, just to kind of let you all know, if you do have any additional questions that are more relevant to your company and you'd like to set up a time to chat with myself and Maddie, feel free to reach out. I'll be sending out that trivia, what is virtual trivia, again to you all. If there are other people that you'd like to send it out to that you might need to get some more feedback on from internal side of things. But other than that, that is, everything that is JA virtual trivia, and hopefully it is appeasing to some of you and appealing and you're interested. We have had a lot of great feedback so far. We've already started setting up some new event dates. So, you know, it seems like it will be a good success. And although we wish we could be meeting in person, you know, it's not really the time right now. So this is our best fit outside of a bowling alley. So if that is that, you know, no more questions? I just want to make sure. Okay. If that is everything, we will let you guys go. I don't want to take up too much of more of your time, but I really appreciate it. Thank you, Josh, for your insights. Thank you all for joining today. I'll just be following up with you all afterwards, just in case you do have any questions or would like to set up another time to talk. But I really appreciate you all joining us today. Have a nice rest of your day. It's Thursday, so really close to the weekend. We're almost there, but enjoy the rest of your week and your weekend. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Flannery. Thanks, Maddie.
Of course.